This program is rated MA. It contains adult themes, coarse language, sexual references, and violence.
Oh, the intro's done. Okay, welcome everyone to Open Comms, and Rain's covered up.
Rude.
Professional as always. Okay, Friday night, welcome to Open Comms. It's almost Halloween, so we're just in costumes tonight. But Drunk Canadian is going to be running a little late. He'll be with us later. Dirk cannot be here. He is in college. Not learning, visiting. And then, so we didn't actually get to the Lifeblood expansion talk last week like we meant to. We'll be getting to that tonight. So we got the whole cast here. Batman is LB. Blastum is a bee. Rain's a squirrel, of course. And I'm a doctor.
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre. Welcome to the show. Okay, so, I mean, do we just dive? Is there any, I did not have time to get home early enough to get the little riff-raff topics. Does anyone have anything, trivial to get into before we dive into the meat and potatoes?
I lost.
Nothing, but I got a couple skins to give away from Eve Vegas.
Oh, shit, right.
So, yeah.
I got some as well from Rodin that we didn't give away. So we'll be giving some of those away as well.
Can I just say that I lost an Ishtar because I've been running these sites like none other.
Wait, you flying Ishtar? You mean a Tristan?
No, I was actually flying. Actually, I'll link it to Dre.
An Ishtar is just a big Tristan.
Yeah, I was saying, you got the big boy Tristan?
So my Vexor can run these, but I don't have any Vexors, especially after the fit changed. I was like, whatever, I'll just borrow my friend's Ishtar. And they run these sites, these Crimson Harvest sites really well, like an Ishtar, a Tristan, or not Tristan, a Vexor VNI. I did ones yesterday in a Dami, and I wasn't checking properly local, and because I've been just spamming D-scans, so Stratios decloaked on me and killed me. Well, Stratios and his friend in a Proteus. Yep. So I had no backup, and I died. But I'm actually running the shit out of these sites for Crimson Harvest, and they're so much fun. So I recommend them to everyone.
And Condor's asking, is the Ishtar better than the Gila?
I haven't tried the Gila, but I know the Gila does it really well too.
I think they have different. Don't they have different resist specs? Because I know the Ishtar's got.
They should. They're different ship types. I mean, they're both,
but at the same time, like the Ishtar, Ishtar is like weird because it has.
Well, Ishtar's T2, so and then the Gila's like T1 pirate cruiser.
Gila's faction, yeah.
So I mean, yeah, they do, but I mean, they both.
I think the Ishtar's better drone-wise, but the Gila's got some gun bonus, or I don't know if it has bonuses.
I think Gila can use it's either 2 or 3 drones. It can use less drones, but the drone bonuses are better.
I've used a lot of Ishtars. I've not really flown a Gila ever. It's just not a doctrine that I've gotten into.
So the Ishtar I was flying was just a resist shield buffer, whereas I think the Gila you can, if I'm remembering this right, I might be thinking of something different. I think people were running active shield tank on the Gila, or the shield booster, but I could be wrong. I haven't done the Gila. I can fly one, but I haven't been using one.
Yeah. Oh, and Nana Helsinki. Okay. I gotta turn the alerts back on. Holy shit, I missed him. All right. So Nana Helsinki resub for 2 months. 22 months. Why did it said 2 months for a second, then it just switched to 22 months. So 22 months. Thanks for the resub, man. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Wait, hello?
Hello?
Oh, okay. I just anyway, so yeah, I don't have a whole lot. I've just been busy at work. I've
All right, great show, guys. Good night.
Yeah, no, that's not
Wow.
what I meant. I haven't had a chance. I really want to do the refine. I want to, because I guarantee people are already starting to put these up.
One actually died today. I think my friends killed it.
Yeah, there's
in
a fight
Valve.
going on right now.
Has it been
Yeah.
long enough for any of
Where's
them to
that
actually
at?
have been online, like fully online by now, or is it
Yeah,
it got
so
killed
I
when
think,
it got dropped?
So I mean, there's ones that are definitely being killed, but yeah, like it's not like everyone is watching everywhere in space. So I'm assuming people who own regions. So I'm thinking like Goons and Delph have probably put
Yeah.
up plenty. So
'Cause,
yeah, like
There are pictures out there of the laser being fired and chunks of stuff coming off the moon.
wait,
sweet.
really? That's so
It's
cool.
happening.
Yeah.
Oh, and while we're doing that, I can actually add a little. I made a little graphic thing. Well, it's just a copy of a video of the thing. Let's see, where is it?
The thing doing a thing to a thing.
Yeah, it's like a little Lifeblood trailer video. Let me center this. So the so the Athenor is the smaller one. That's probably the ones that are up already. The Tatara doesn't have like a longer anchor time, or is that the same time?
I think it's
'Cause I
24.
wanna-
I think it's 24 hours for no matter what type of citadel you're
Okay,
placing.
because I've been wanting to get back into moon reactions, and I've been waiting for these things to come out. And so the second I can get in and find one that's close to a Mars, so I can actually, and then I'll probably be getting my Jump Freighter pilot back online, giving CCP more money, which is great. So I'm kind of excited about this expansion because that was like my main income source for a long time, and then we moved down to Delve, and it all got shit on because I didn't have enough Sino pilots to, because up in the north it was 2 jumps to Jita. Now it's like, from where I'm living, it's like 9 jumps to Amar, so I just don't have that many Sino pilots, and I'd have to get like other people to run chains for me and all that other shit. So yeah, I'm kind of excited for the refinery stuff to come in. So basic stuff about the refineries. I guess we're just diving into this. Let me get the link so you guys can see the dev blog on it.
Wait. Can we talk about moon probing because everyone's having to re-probe all the moons?
Yeah,
And-
yeah. Oh, yeah, they did change the moon probing.
And I mean, I have never done that before. I've never done POSes. I've never done moons. I've never even done like shit like PI, like any of that like PVE, like logistical stuff that everyone does. I've never done it. So I know the Amamake police were talking. We're like, oh, we should probably probe moons and see like where we can find good content because people are going to be trying to mine those. And so we were talking about it. I was like, oh, I'll probe moons. And everyone I've talked to says they hate moon probing. Like they absolutely
It's pretty
hate it.
shitty. I've only done it because back when they reshuffled the moons a long time ago,
Yeah.
it was like what, a couple years ago, something like that. They reshuffled all the moons, and the CFC. I think it was actually the CFC back at that time. It wasn't the Imperium yet, and they did a whole like venture of. It was like this whole mass, like across the whole coalition of getting everyone to go out probe moons, and it was pretty amazing the setup they had. Like they would, you would pick moons. They would have a chart, an online like actively updated chart of moons, and you would pick one that hadn't been probed yet, and you would go to that system, that planet, that moon, and you could even just grab a bunch, and you'd go and probe all these moons, and then you'd copy your data.
Yeah, and
Send
paste
it into
right?
them and paste it into like the paste bin thing. I don't know if I think it went through dashboard, but I'm not sure. And then it would go through their whole system, and it would track all the API stuff and all that, and so it would add it to their thing so that they would know what moons they had. And then based on how many you did, you would get payouts, and it was just this whole like reward system. And I think it was like a week and a half. They had all like 6 regions, every single moon mapped out within like a week. It was freaking amazing.
Yep. And I mean, so that's what we're kind of doing. So I have the skills for it, even though I have never done it. And so I went, and I think I went to like Amar or Renz, and I was like, oh, you buy the moon probe launcher, and then you buy the survey probes. So I brought them to Amamake, and I was just like probing around Amamake, and I was like, I don't know why people hate this. It's kind of fun. I've actually like really enjoyed it. I think I did like 120 moons yesterday. I'm gonna be doing some now while we're on the show. Yeah, like it's super relaxing, and it's really funny because like all these alliances, like you're able to share APIs, like pool your resources. Obviously you have to worry about spies and whatnot, but it's not too big of a deal. Whereas like the Amamake police have like none of that. So we're just like behind the scenes sharing spreadsheets, being like, hey, where have you probed or haven't you probed type thing. Oh, we got Blastum to sub.
Yeah,
Hell
Blasphemy
yeah.
Okay, thanks for doing that. And I put the video behind the alerts now. I'm fixing it. It's a work in progress. But yeah, so like because the new Moon Prep, I think we talked about it like when they first released the devlog a little bit, but they definitely made it better to where it's just a lot more simple to where you know exactly whether you got the moon or not, what moon it is, and you actually don't even have to sit there and wait for the probe to get there. You can
So
like
you
just
can go from moon to moon and then just wait till the end of the timers and
yeah,
like,
and then you get the
like
whole
you said.
system done all at once, and it'll tell you not just if the moon has anything in it or not, and what it has in it, but it'll also tell you if you just missed it. Like it'll be like you launch the probe, if you miss the moon, it'll be like no information, and so that means that you fucked it up and you need to go back. Whereas before, the old system just it said no materials, and so you had to like make sure that's like, okay, did I actually have no materials or did I miss the moon? Like, so that's it was kind of shitty that way. But all right, you know what? Let's just start off with some shots though. It's already 15
I want
minutes.
to make a drink. I'll be right back.
Oh shit, Batman.
We gotta wait.
Gotta wait for Batman.
No.
God damn it, Batman.
Get Alfred. Alfred will do it. Okay, we'll do a shot when he gets back. So, okay, little quick things with the refineries. Just basic information on this is they got to be anchored. Get out here. They got to be 250 kilometers from the mining location of a moon. Now, this was one thing I was a little surprised on because I thought that you could put these up anywhere near a moon, and as long as it was within X amount of distance from the moon itself, you could mine the moon, but only one of these could mine the moon at a time. That's what my initial perception of the thing was going to be.
Yeah, they actually have like a mining point. I don't know if you've flown to a moon, but like you can right click and it's like fly to mining point or whatever.
Yeah. It's like now a warp in point for each moon. And I'm guessing it's just because because they have like probably X amount of moon models in the game, and they've designed at that point spot on the moon model that's how they designed the chunk to come off, so they wouldn't have to like have this like dynamic thing that they'd have to like make it like unique. So there's a specific mining point on each moon that you can warp into, and you have to put the refinery within 250 kilometers of that point for it to actually be able to mine the moon. Only one could be anchored in that distance, but this is because obviously you can only put one refinery within 1,000 kilometers. Like they have to be 1,000 kilometers apart. So if you put one in there, then no one else can put one there anyway.
Yeah.
So that's as far as the mining thing. Now there was 3 rigs. I'm actually going to bring up the site so I can get a little bit more of the details as far as fittings, because I don't remember how many high slots and shit each of them had, but
For the citadels or whatever.
yeah, the refineries. But okay, so the rigs, I think I got this explained to me by Dirk a little bit, but it was still, I don't know, because so they're gonna have rig slots just like everything else, high slots, mid slots, low slots, and then the specialty slots for citadels. I forget exactly what they're called, but those are where you'll put like the mining module that hits the moon. But the rigs, so you're gonna have medium and large rigs, and that's obviously for the medium and large refinery. But so you got the moon drilling efficiency rig, which gives you percent volume and time increase. So it gives you more volume of the ore that you pull off the moon, and it goes quicker. Then the other one, moon ore stability rig, is it reduces the radius of the asteroid belt, so it condenses all the chunks together, makes them easier to mine without having to move around. Time before self-explode. Oh, okay, so I think it just reduces the time that it pulls it. And then asteroid decay time plus 50%, which is, obviously they don't despawn. Now here's the thing that I didn't get. So that's what those two do. Moon drilling proficiency rig. This is the third type of rig. It basically does the exact same thing as both those other 2 rigs combined. So I don't know why would you ever use one of the first 2 rigs if this one does both? I don't get that.
I wonder if it's like more expensive or
Well, yeah, I'm sure it'll be more
maybe you can
expensive.
stack them. Like, can you only have one on at a time, or can you like have 2?
That's the other thing I would think is that one is for large only. Got it. Okay.
Oh, that could be, yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, thank you. Okay, the audience is teaching us about the game. That's actually how it just always goes.
mean-
Okay.
That's why we're here.
Yeah. We're just here to drink. You guys are supposed to tell us how this game works. It's the size. Okay. I missed that because I was thinking I had like this whole smart thing going on. And I really didn't. I was being a dumb. Okay, so the large gets the bonus of both, and you could just stack those up, I guess. Now the thing is, like, would people put other rigs that, like, maybe put like one of those on and then they fill the other rig slots with like defensive rigs? Not sure. I'm horrible at
Yeah, you
fitting. So
could.
I do not fit structures. I want to actually at some point, if someone wants to give me control of their citadel when it's getting attacked, I would love to take control of the guns. Size does
Wait.
matter.
I was gonna say, what you could do is just like get a citadel yourself, and then just like put it somewhere, and then like bait people, like pay other people to shoot it, and then you could just like doomsday them or whatever, or like try and kill them. You could give your own PvP.
Well, I couldn't. That'd be a really expensive. I mean, I'd be willing to do it. I think I might even have enough is to do it with the small one, but.
For normal citadels, I don't think the small one has very fun guns. I don't think it has. Does it have guns at all? I don't thought.
Yeah, you
I
can
didn't
put
think the
guns
small
on
one
it,
did.
but you can't. I don't think
Okay.
you can't put the big doomsday on it, but
Yeah.
that's all right. Maybe Blue Mel will let me have his citadel.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, you
he'll
could
trust
probably
me.
convince him to like come hang out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's your job. You need to convince him to let me come sit in his citadel. Okay.
Yeah.
What the hell is LB? Man.
I know. I was gonna say he's probably making the, most mixed drink in the world.
He's making
He's
himself
probably-
a sex on the beach.
No, he's probably doing what Jin did, where like you saw where Jin like had making those adios motherfuckers of like 20 different liquors, but Jin made it at his desk, so it was like
Oh
easier
right,
to
yeah.
do.
I actually wasn't even watching him do that. Like he was just going to town. Like I was just.
I thought he explained it to us and whatnot.
Well, he was, but it just in one ear out the other because, I just wanted to see him drink it. I didn't. It's like I'm never gonna remember what the hell you're putting in that. So.
I just know you put the blue liquor in it, and then it's just like a shit ton of alcohol, and you have to be remember that there's a ton of sugar in it, because I did not do that while in Iceland.
So I mean, other than that, like the reprocessing blueprint, like I'm assuming that's all gonna be pretty similar to like how it's been working in stations for a long time, and the moon reactions is gonna be just like the manufacturing of just normal stuff right now, which that's the other thing I was really excited about. I mean, I've said it plenty of times. Wait, shooter, we're waiting for LB. He just got back, so yeah, we'll be doing
He's
shots.
back. He's back. Let's do this.
All right, shots.
Shots.
Is this where I tell you guys I haven't poured mine yet?
Rain, we've been waiting forever.
Get good.
But yeah, so that was the one thing I was getting pretty excited about, is that because, like I said, I was doing a reaction farm for a while, and managing Moon Goo in the towers was a pain in the ass. It really, really was, and it just invited disaster if you forgot to re-online a silo somewhere or any of that, because you had to go to the tower, you had to turn off the silos, pull the stuff out, put the new stuff in, turn the silos back on for every single silo. But skip to the chase. Oh, hold on, Erox, I'm getting there. And so it was just a giant pain in the ass. And there's been more than one time where I forgot a silo off, and so you come back the week later and you're like, oh shit, this moon has done nothing, which means that if it's done nothing, I don't have the product to combine in the next moon, which means that this whole chain got fucked because I left this one silo off. So now it's going to be just like the manufacturing UI, which is freaking awesome, because you're just going to set it, here's the materials, make this stuff, and it'll be done in this amount of time. You just come and pick it up. Perfect.
Okay, so you're talking a lot about important PvE stuff, but everyone in chat is demanding karaoke, so I think we gotta do
no.
some karaoke.
No.
It's too early for
No,
that.
too early.
Guys, I
Karaoke.
love karaoke. We didn't get to karaoke.
After show.
Oh man, you cut out, Ray. What'd you
Alright.
say?
Seriously.
That wasn't me
I
doing
said
it
we
intentionally.
didn't get to do karaoke in Vegas.
Why do you keep cutting out? Are you using push to talk? Uh-oh. Did my TeamSpeak take a shit? I think it did. Because she's talking and I got nothing lighting up. Oh, man. Okay. Well, until my team...
Is it back?
Yeah!
It's
Okay,
back.
it just came back.
Okay.
Fuck, my TeamSpeak just... Like, I told you, I'm getting a new hosting server soon. Like, I'm gonna have to set that up because this one is taking a shit over the last few weeks. Okay, wait, are you guys back? Hello?
Yeah, I'm back. Can you hear me?
I'm back.
Yep.
All right.
Gold
Yeah.
leader check-in, Rain.
Red Rover
Yeah?
checking in.
Okay, alright, okay, cool.
Rain checking in.
Okay, so you're saying, yeah, we didn't get to do karaoke in Vegas. I know. I don't have the karaoke mechanics for that. LB and Blastum does,
So
but
let's just.
I
say
don't
at
have the
some
liquid
point-
courage to do that yet.
At some point, let's say maybe for New Year's or Christmas, we gotta do like some karaoke.
Oh, we
should
usually
just,
do.
Invite, We should
Yeah.
just invite all the viewers on though. And, like we can all like do group songs of like Journey or something
God.
like that.
It's gonna be so bad because of the various different delays in the TeamSpeak. It's just gonna be people are gonna be
Karaoke
ranging from like, you know, anywhere from like on point to like 2 seconds off. And when you have 30 people doing that, it'll be amazing.
So
I'm
I did
downstairs.
waffles. I did waffles karaoke last year, and it was actually super fun.
Oh no, I'm down to do it. I'm just saying it'll probably be it'll be a mess, but you know, why the fuck not?
Hell yeah.
Journey though, yeah, Journey's pretty good. I don't.
It's
know.
funny because I say Journey, but everyone knows. I mean, Don't Stop Believin', and it's just one of those things.
Yeah. Wait, did Rain abuse you, Blastum?
Yeah,
God,
I
yes,
gave
he
a lot
did.
of people bruises.
Do we need to have like
I think
Well, hold on,
someone
I'm a
had-
doctor, so Blastum, let's talk about you.
Well, okay. So here's the story. I'm already about 3 sheets half gone. This was what, Thursday night? Yeah, Thursday
Yeah.
night. Thursday night, and I partake a little bit too. So there was that setting in. So I just wanted to kind of wander around 35 for a little bit. And then I see Rain in a complete meltdown with the judge. I mean, she is full out streaming tears down her face.
I did
Screaming,
drunk curse!
I would
Oh,
never
man.
fuck over my friends. Blast them. You know I would never fuck my friends. And I'm like, okay, so I gotta take a minute to comprehend this. And all of a sudden, she's like, she grabs my chest in a full-on grab and brings me to a fucking knee in the middle of 35. I'm
I
like,
saw this.
ow, Rain, stop.
Yeah, I saw this. How did that make you feel?
I was feeling very mightily abused.
What kind of
Yeah.
doctor are you, Drake?
The one that actually never has answers, just more questions, like
Mm-hmm.
every single other psychologist out there. What kind of
So-
doctor do you think I?
I thought you
think
were a
I have
doctor of
mother
medicine,
issues.
but apparently you're a
You know,
doctor of
my
the mind.
mother abused me as a child.
Oh, well, we don't need to get into that. Okay. But yeah, so shit. Where were we, man? We got tangent. Like,
That was quick.
oh, okay. Well, let's backtrack. Abuse, karaoke,
Rain.
Rain.
Mute Coon says he
Riggs.
heard I went on a rampage, but I think unless you heard it from somebody who's like actually there and my friend, I wouldn't believe rumors because there's a lot of shit talking, and what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Huh?
So I invited Ash Rothi to come talk about the Resource Wars.
Yes, is
Oh,
Ash
man.
coming?
I'm gonna drag him up.
Yeah.
There he is.
Nice.
What's up, Asher? Or not Asher. Ashtarothi. Ash.
Ashtarothi. Ash is fine.
Okay.
How's it going?
Good. How are you, man? Long time no talk.
I have been busy. This last week has been just non-stop.
Tell us about it.
Well, it all started with me waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning and probing a whole bunch of moons, because why not? But, I mean, there's been so much going on. We had 2 days of just Resource Wars, which was fine, and then now we also have Crimson Harvest on top of it. There's just so much different activity going on right now. I think this is easily the most lively I've ever seen, at least HiSec.
Yeah, so the Crimson Harvest isn't just high sec though, is it? Because
Correct. Actually,
the Resource
it's
Wars are high
interesting.
sec, but
yeah, Resource Wars is only high sec, but Crimson Harvest, and this is something that they've said about all future agency events. It actually gives priority to low sec. So the way that they did it with Crimson Harvest is that in any of the other security space, there's a small chance of a battleship to spawn that'll give you like a second chance at loot, like a jackpot. But in low sec, the battleship always spawns. So battleship sites have 2 chances of getting a skin, whereas the high sec and other sec areas are only 1 chance. Well, has a chance at having a battleship.
okay.
Low sec
Oh,
has.
who's
Do you
dying?
say low sec has guaranteed battleships? Because
DC.
If I'm wrong, you can tell me I'm wrong. That's literally everyone has told me that so far. I haven't-
no, I'll confirm that because that's what I've been doing all day.
Right.
Wait, impostoring? There's no imposters here, Erox.
This guy's doing a really good impression of Ash if it's
Yeah.
an imposter.
Okay, so so the Crimson Harvest, so they're were they in wormhole space too?
Yeah, very little has actually changed about the site from last year, or like the site spawning mechanics, besides the battleship and low sec thing. Other than that, they're very, very similar to what we saw last year.
Okay, yeah, because the Crimson Harvest isn't. So maybe I'll try and do it this year, but I don't know. If the place to be is low sec scares the shit out of me more than any other place, almost. Actually,
Well, you can still do it anywhere. And the other interesting thing that I found is because they've attached it to the agency, what's happened is that I've run into a lot of people that are only doing it for just the agency credit. So while there is definitely like a lot of people like just trying to steal from each other in high sec, I've actually seen a lot of people. I've been invited to fleets. People have like talked about, oh, well, I want this thing. You can have this thing. You know, there's a lot more cooperation this year than previous years.
Okay, like see, like, but is it trustworthy? Like, it's just go on random people like that? Because I heard that Panda did something like that, and they just killed her. Like after the she helped them, and they killed her, and then took all the shit and left, or something like that.
Well, I'm the jackass. I make sure I'm always the jackass. So I'm always trying to steal or take it or do whatever. But sometimes people are nice about it. So when they get the loot or whatever, they don't race me for it. I've even convoed people afterwards because I don't really care about the cerebral accelerators. I know most people do. So I like to offer that to the people. That's my way of being nice. And most of the people are like, nah, I'm just in it for the credit for agency.
Okay, and
Not most, but some.
so you get LP from this? Is that what you mean by credit?
No, so they've tied it to the agency. So now,
Okay, so you agency stuff then.
Those
Yeah.
are the points you get with things and whatnot. Like complete the site, or I know one of them that's really good is collecting bounties, and then they have some mining ones. But I mean, if you just run the sites, you can get tons of credits, and then you get like boxes or cerebral accelerators and whatnot. You just get the points for it.
Right. So one of the things that they've changed with this one is that unlike previous iterations of the agency, there's also depth-based rewards. So now when you complete one site, you'll get 10 agency points, but then it'll unlock the next tier, and they'll say now you can complete 4 agency sites, and then when you complete 4, you get another 11 points. Then they go, okay, now complete 8 sites, and so on and so forth. So instead of having to like kind of diversify, you can, but you can also, there's 5 tiers of rewards for each type. So there's now 1 mining mission, 1 site-based mission, 1 bounty-based mission, and then 1, I think, resource war-based one. So you can do any of them up to 5 tiers deep, and they give rewards for each time you complete it. So like I've gotten over 150 points in 2 days.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think I got my first tier 110, 120. Yeah, I'm at 121 right now, and that's just like when you're in low sec and you find a really good low sec system or area, like not a lot of people will come through. It's very easy to use D-scan and make sure that you're safe when anyone jumps in local type thing.
Now also,
We're doing shots?
yeah, we're doing shots. This might be something you might know because I was watching Manic stream last night, and I asked him the question and he explained it, and I was like busy doing something else, so like I didn't actually listen, so I feel bad. But so he had because I was making fun of him because he was using like the little side map. Was it like F11 that brings that up? Just the little maps that come off to the side of the screen. I was like, holy shit! I don't think I've seen anyone use those before. And he was saying that something like there was a method to know exactly. Oh yeah, shots. There was a method to know where the sites with the battleships were going to spawn or something like that. I don't know if it was the sites with the battleships for Crimson Harvest, or he was doing Crimson Harvest because it was all Blood Raider stuff he was doing. But he was in high sec, so it wouldn't have been battleships. Maybe it was just like a way to know where the next site was going to spawn it beforehand, or how to tell if a site had just spawned. Is there a way to do that with just the map?
I don't think so. The agency map will tell you when you have sites in your system, but probably if he's using the F11 side map, he's just looking for like things that are off the beaten trail.
Okay.
That would be my bet.
Yeah,
You can also
can
do,
you look
like-
at the metrics on that one, like the old F10 map, like pilots and system, rats killed? Can you get those metrics with the F11 one?
Ash, you know if the agency one, so like you can set it to like 5 jumps away. Can you see all? It's like Blood Raider Gauntlet, and then they have like.
No.
Okay, I see.
It's the same as your pro, like like with the combat sites, it only shows what's on your probe menu. So those kinds of things are only showed locally.
Okay, never mind. I got you.
I'm sorry, was there a different question too?
Oh no, I was just asking if like.
Oh yeah, I was going to say with the F11 map, the only time I've really used that recently is actually when doing Intosis, because the constellation
right.
matters. Right. So I'll pull that up so I can see the whole constellation. But other than that, I don't really use it that much.
Yeah, I would say I've never used it, and I don't see anyone that ever like streams stuff really use it either. I don't even think FCs really use it much, maybe, but I think they all have like their own third-party special maps they use. I don't even know if they use the in-game map much. But so Crimson Harvest up now. The Resource Wars. This is one thing that I haven't done, and I probably never will do because I don't ever go into high sec because I have war decks all the time, 100% of the time. So I just don't spend time in high sec. So their missions, they're missions to go mine resources, but you can also go as combat PvE to like defend the miners and stuff. That's about as much as I know about it. Is that pretty much all it is? Just generally like mine stuff, blow stuff up?
Well, the word mission is kind of a misnomer because there's no you don't go to an agent, get a mission, go do it. What it is that there's different tiers of sites that appear throughout space. So you have to use your agency map and move around a lot. And basically you go to your tier of site, and each tier is controlled what size of ship, race of ship, and how many ships are allowed in it. So, for instance, level 1 sites only allow up to 3 players, and they must be T1 frigates of that faction or the Venture.
Okay, I was gonna say what do they mine with? But okay, the Venture's allowed.
Right, and then it scales up from there. Like T2s allow, or like level 2s allow T2 mining frigates. I even think like level 3s start to allow like basic barges and stuff like that. And of course, it scales up frigate, destroyer, cruiser, so on and so forth.
Right. Up to battleships at the top.
Right. Although I don't really know much about the higher end level 5s. I can tell you this. Level 1s can be totally soloable as an alpha. As an alpha, I soloed it and got silver, which that's an interesting point to it. They're all time-based, so there's additional rewards if you complete them quickly. So you can either get bronze, silver, or gold if you complete them quick enough. So I was able to get silver on level 1 as an alpha by myself. I went into a level 2 and literally got one shot by the cruiser at 36 kilometers.
Oh, wow.
Now, admittedly, that was, again, as an alpha, so I know that there are people that have soloed level 2s in, like, a Procurer with an Omega.
Okay, well, so when did you start getting... So the Tier 2 is where you can start using Tech 2 frigates, and then when you go into cruiser class, destroyer and cruisers and stuff, are you not allowed to use Tech 2s until later on? Is it, like, does the Tech 2 version scale up, like, kind of into the next level from the Tech 1 when it's first allowed?
I think so. I'm not sure how it scales up as it gets up to like level 3s and level 4s.
Okay, maybe the scaling gap is a little closer, where it's like, okay, you can use cruisers of all kinds at this point. But,
Right, but remember, it does still lock you racially.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's right.
That also means no pirates.
Oh.
So like, if you have -2.
No,
Or-
I mean like.
Not
so
sta- like-
what
like-
Oh, pirate faction.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's
yeah,
like if
okay,
you're in
okay.
Amar, you can't be using like an Ashamu in the
I've been
site.
trying to think about like what the high end like. This has been my question that I've been trying to figure out. What is the high end, resource wars group look like? What are they doing? What does that activity look like? Incursions, they all load up their bow heads and they move to the next site, unload, and then they just do whatever, and they're Macarials and Vindicators and all that stuff. So what does the end game resource wars group look like? Originally, I thought, well, Macarials, so that way you can get around really fast. But that's actually, you can't bring the Macarials into the site. So I'm still curious to see what solutions we end up coming up with to make efficient level 5 running.
Okay. Viper's calling for shot. We're not ignoring shot request, Viper. I'm pacing myself so I don't have another episode of last week, because last week was a nightmare. It wasn't until the
Wait,
after
what
show.
happened? What happened last week? What did you guys do while I was
Well, we got
gone?
super hammered. The after show was bad for me. I had a puking rally on the after show, in the bathroom, not on the show. But it was bad. Apparently, I came back and had
For
some
one day?
puke in my mustache, and people were like laughing at me, and I didn't know it was there, and it was really,
All right.
really bad. We did.
You guys all give me shit
Ju-
for
yeah,
what
just-
happened at
okay,
Vegas.
so
And
TMI
you're
there,
a
but-
disaster. Like, what? You can't give me shit anymore.
Yeah, someone told me that. I did, like, from the next day. I was like, wait, what? Was that on the after show? They're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, video deleted. You're out
But you were
here.
hosted on INN that night.
I know, but
That was
it
me
doesn't.
that told you that.
INN doesn't keep the recordings of hostings on the thing. They only keep the recordings of actual broadcasts. So I'm good. All right, but we'll do a shot, and then we should
Shots?
probably give a code away.
Totally.
Thanks, Marcia. God. All right, so that does the resource wars thing. Oh, now hold on. I know this is not a lore show, but Dirk isn't here. I'm kind of interested in some of the lore. I don't know any of it. What is the lore behind the resource wars stuff? Like, summarized thing. Like, not to take an hour, but like just to kind of what's the whole
So-
lore aspect of this?
So basically, all these capitals that the pirates have been putting out recently, with like the Blood Raiders shipyard and the now Garista shipyard, and now also the FOBs. The idea is that this expansion is all about the escalation of the conflict between the empires and the pirate factions. So the pirate factions have escalated by the use of FOBs that they can use to kind of inject themselves into high sec and low sec and run amok. And then, by contrast, the empires have been doing these experimental mining things in order to try to get enough resources to be able to fight these pirates. And as it turns out, oops, now Capsuleers know about it, so we get to help out. That's the short of
Okay.
it, I think.
Okay, that's all right then.
I will say, before we switch off to Resource Wars, there is one thing that really troubles me about Resource Wars. Overall, I think that the feature is really, really well done. But there is one part of it that I think is potentially very problematic for the future of EVE. Which
What's
is
that?
the application of bind-on pickup equipment, or specifically skins.
Are they
in this
actually
case.
adding that in here? No. Please
So-
no.
Are those the
So-
ship skins that you also use on your ship, and then when you die, they no longer useful type thing?
Correct.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with volatile skins. That makes sense. I like the idea of a skin that dies when the ship dies.
Should
but
still
what
be
they've
tradable,
also
though.
done, yeah, exactly. They've made it so it can't be traded or sold, which really
I don't like that, because the whole point of one of the alluring aspects of this game, especially for anyone that's interested in marketing, is that literally every item in the game can be for sale. Like, if the owner wants to sell, like everything is available for trade, with the exception of Rain's ship that she blew up that one time.
So that's because that's not a player.
Right.
Given
That's like
ship.
But
I mean-
yeah.
But I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying,
if you look at
aside
it, so,
from
like,
those
you want to talk about like
specific
Alliance tournament
experiences.
type stuff. So like even the trophy for the Alliance tournament can be sold. So Vidra would have like an actual in-game trophy with all the listing alliances that have won over the years, And I know, like, maybe not a lot of people know about it, but it came up with, I believe, Tuskers when they fought against Hydra. They actually brought it. I think it was on, like, a Malice or something along those lines. And when they died, it actually dropped, so Hydra's able to scoop it. And that's like an actual in-game item. So Vidra, now having it, can use it, sell it, trade it, whatever they want. And what ends up happening for, like, Alliance Tournament 16 is CCP just picks up the item and moves it to the winner, even if it's deleted. So it's like one of those things where, like, yeah, like, you're right, Jaden, like, literally everything in the game can be sold, traded and sold.
It was pointed out to me that there is one other bind-on pickup item in the game, which is the mini skill injector at the end of the tutorial. Jintan pointed that out to me when I was bringing up this argument originally, but I contest that that is a significantly different situation. You know, a thing that's intended for everyone to get one of is very, very different than a reward for a task that can't then be, you know, sent to somebody else, sold, or dealt with. The real problem with this is that it really messes with the crates themselves, because you can't have the crates make the... Let me take a step back. The LP crates give you one ship, the actual T1 ship, plus a whole bunch of T1 modules that represent an okay fitting for that ship, and then one volatile skin for that ship. So either an Incursus, Thorax, Megathron, I think, for Galente, for example. The issue with that is that if you make the skins not tradable, then that means all of the value is in the ship. So they can't make it so that this is a cheaper way of getting a ship than just building it. So what they've had to do is make it so that the loot boxes cost more than the ship itself. Like, as much as 100 million ISK more for the Dominant, or for the Megathron, for example. Which would be okay if then that skin has a relative value, resale value, but it doesn't. And so now, literally, it's just a scam for people to make them pay extra for their ship and also spend LP, which doesn't feel good. But then additionally, like, it's very uneven. I'll use my example, my situation as an example. Usually, I don't go and do my collections on my main. Ash is in Faction Warfare. She's locked into her stuff. If I'm going to do something like Crimson Harvest, I'm going to go do it on an alt. Same with Resource Wars. So the fact that I can't, like, collect skins and then bring it to Ash to be able to use really sucks. And then likewise, I was planning on financing a Resource Wars group as, like, hey, you know, be my sister corporation, and we're just going to buy those crappy skins that nobody wants off of you for full value as a way of kind of keeping you mechanically, you know, working, but can't even do that. So there's just so much that we lose in this attempt to make bind on pickup, and I just don't see a reason why they would want to do it.
Yeah,
It could be, I mean, so if you think about it, it could be CCP just seeing, like, if it works for anything. Or maybe, I mean, it could also, like, you could always blame the code. Like, maybe there's something in the code where they can't actually make it not bind on pickup or something along those lines. I don't
because
know.
I think that it'd actually take extra code to make it this bind on pickup thing, because normally you could just make, like, the way skins work and any other item works is that they're just tradable. So to make the item able to be picked up by a person, but then only, like, not able to be traded, they have to add extra specific code for that specific item, I would think. So it'd actually take more work to prevent them from trading it. And I'm not a fan of that either. I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna do Resource Wars because I don't do high sec. So I mean, I obviously will never get these skins. But that's the sad thing, is, like, I will never get these skins because I can't go and buy one. Like, like you said, I'm fine with them being, like, a one-time use. You use it, your ship blows up. Well, that's the skin. It's done. You got to go get another one. I just don't understand why they would do, like, the bind on pickup. It's just, why would they switch to a model like that when they've never used it before? And I think people generally
Like
wouldn't
I
like
said,
it.
I mean, yeah, it could be just like an experiment. If you think of a lot of other MMOs, they kind of have some form of bind on pickup. So maybe CCP is, like, trying to see what was successful with other MMOs. Maybe they're like, okay, maybe we could do this, or maybe not. Like, who knows?
Yeah, the other, I mean, maybe the only thing I can think of is, like, maybe it's like bragging rights, because if you're flying around in that skin, that means, like, hey, I did this. It wasn't like I just spent some money and got this. But at the same time, no one cares. No one really cares.
One of the things that people have talked about, actually, or have suggested when it comes to skins, is standings or other requirements to be able to use skins, right? So, like, you have to have good standings with a certain corporation to be able to use their skin type. I actually suggested that I don't really like in the usage, but maybe the purchasing, right? So if you require 8.0 with Sorum to be able to purchase Sorum skins, then that makes it into a niche, right? I can grind that up, and now I have access to a market that other people don't have, and now I can be like the official Sorum branding dude for Eve. And I think that that's interesting. It goes back to that trophy thing, right? Like, nobody intended for anybody to move the trophy, but they let it happen, which means the craziest stories can come from that. If you just lock it out and don't allow anything to come from it, it just seems so anti anything that Eve is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was my one real complaint. Other than that, almost everything about Resource Wars I absolutely love it, because it basically takes the fundamental idea of like mining and those really low concept stuff that a lot of new players have in their brain as they come out of the tutorials and all that stuff, and it takes them from there to being an almost competent pilot, because you have to be moving. You have, there's prioritization. You learn that, oh, if I get halfway through a cycle and then end it, then that means that I can get all of the value out of a rock without having to go the full cycle, and so I can be more efficient. So people are allowed to start experimenting and finding ways to be even better. And that timed reward system helps that, right? Because, oh, we just managed to stagger through our first level 3 is very different than we're pulling level 3s to gold. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I wish they had taken Resource Wars. Like, I don't know. I feel like I would never do Resource Wars, so I'm really glad, like, they have the Crimson Harvest at the same time, where it's kind of linked, and, like, the agency seems to really help everyone doing sort of event PvP, or event PvE, apologies, kind of all relate to something.
Oh, so Condor Plays just linked me a kill to an Athanor. I don't know if this is the first refinery to go down, or if it's just a refinery that went down.
There's a lot of them going down because they changed the anchoring rule.
Right, because you get like the 24 hours of invulnerability, but then you get like the 15 minutes of free reign.
That's the way it used to be. Now it's 15 minutes, then 24 hours, then 15 more minutes.
Oh, so right when you drop it, you got to guard that thing.
Right, so what you're seeing today is actually people dropping it and then it being caught before it's outside of the 15-minute window for a lot of the people. Well, there were Anthanars, right, on the market yesterday, but we figured it out that basically you would have to have like an engineering complex in nullsec with the structure rigging in order to have it pop out at that point. Right now, today is the day that we're seeing the very first normal ones coming out of the oven.
Gotcha. Yeah, so these are anchoring quick then. I mean, so they anchor in the 24 hours, then so basically like in a day and a half hour, you can get one of these things up and running.
Oh, great. I think
Can we
lost
hear?
you there for a second.
Yeah, we all lost you.
Oh, well, shit. I don't think the rest of the stream did. I don't know, maybe. But so I was just saying, like, so it's the 15 minutes, then the 24 hours, then the 15 minutes. So in a half hour more than a day, one of these things is just
Well,
running.
I don't know if they shortened the timer. I was being...
Oh, well, I mean, the dev blog said 24 hours, so unless they came up with a change in the last few days, I think it's the same.
Fair.
All right, so yeah, I'm just wondering about if there's anything else on the refineries we need to get to before we get to some of this other stuff. Okay, so giveaways. I said I was gonna do a giveaway. Let's just roll one right now. Because I got a bunch of codes. Blastum's got some codes. What skins are these for? Because they're the skins that they gave away cards for at Vegas.
Yes, that's the couple I have tonight are the Eve Vegas giveaway cards. So
Right. So, because I got some of these from Roannon, and I don't know what what is it?
They're like
wasn't
an
the
amber
Vexer? Was it the
Galenta
Vexer
ship.
one?
Let me check.
I was gonna say, because what ships are these for, Blastum?
I don't know. I haven't actually even activated mine. I got like 3 or 4
Yeah,
of them.
like
So.
I was tempted to keep one of the ones Rogue gave me, and I know he wouldn't care if I did, but you know what? I was like, integrity, I won't do it. unless I roll myself and win. If I roll and myself comes up, I'm taking it. Just let everyone know.
So the skin is Copus Edge,
Right, yeah, with a K,
and
right?
it's the Incursus, Megathron, and Thorax.
Oh, yeah, dude, I want a Thorax skin. That's my favorite ship. It looks so good.
If you ever want to impress a girl, just trade her a thorax with no context. Definitely won't backfire.
Nope, I give him an avatar. It's way better.
I mean, if you're giving it one of these avatars, my character's female.
Oh, you want an avatar?
It was an unsolicited dick pic joke.
Okay. All right, let's roll. Keys 2000. Oh, my man.
All right, Keys.
That is someone,
You giving it to him, Drayden, or is it me? Is it mine?
You go ahead. Yeah, just
Okay.
whisper him in chat. It's Keys with a Z. Keyz 2000. All one word.
All right.
That's
Keys,
someone that
I will-
I got to
Go
meet
ahead.
in Vegas. I remember him telling me that he was going to Vegas, and then I forgot. And then he was at the Open Com show, the live broadcast, I believe. I either met him there or I met him at 3535, probably both. But I went up and I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like I was talking to this guy, and I was like, "Oh, so what's your name?" He's like, "I'm Keys. I'm Keys 2000." I was like, "No shit, you're fucking here." So that was cool to meet him. All right, so yeah, I think he got it. I'm gonna rapid fire another one off because I got like 10 codes to give away tonight, so we got to kind of get some of these out.
Keys, I just whispered you the code.
No apologies, 420. Blaze it. All right, I'll give him this one. Now also, as far as the codes I give you, put them in. Don't worry, I have a chart, a Google Docs thing. I will be adding your name to it because I had to type these in by hand in the spreadsheet, and so I may have missed. I actually did mistype one. The one I gave Miss Country didn't work, and it's because it's because I mistyped a letter. But like I said, I numbered all the cards I got, so I know which ones to reference from the spreadsheet, and I put the names into who I gave them out to, so I was able to get it fixed for her, and she did get the code. But
All
like
right,
I
so,
said,
hey,
double check me. Like put it in. If it doesn't work,
Yeah,
whisper
same.
me, and I will give you the right one.
Yeah, same with mine. Actually, one last thing for eVegas. You guys probably covered a shit ton of over eVegas for the last couple of weeks, but I do have one thing. There was a survey that was sent out earlier in the week. Yeah, it may have been last week. My time is kind of running together lately. But if you haven't filled out the survey and you went to eVegas, I'd say get on it, get it done. There's so much in there that they asked. I think there was like about 25, 30 questions of just the different topics that they went over. I think it's a great thing that you give feedback to CCP about eVegas. It helps us a lot.
And CCP obviously listens to that feedback too. If it wasn't apparent at this Vegas, so
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think there were some really good questions about the venue, what you thought about it. So yeah, please give your opinion, no matter what it is. And I think there was even some freeform text, about the party, some other stuff too. I absolutely, I filled it out right away, but absolutely do it.
All right. And I'm just gonna write a prescription right now for some ethanol or ethyl alcohol.
I
would say about a fluid ounce should do it. 1 fluid ounce taken orally should do the trick. So we'll do shots. Bam. All right. There's definitely more to this. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Oh wait, where's my show notes? Oh no, lost my show notes.
next is
Mining ledger?
Oh, okay. So, whoops, damn it. Yeah. So the mining ledger. Now this was something that actually perked a little bit of interest for me as well. So they're going to be adding a personal and corporation level mining ledger, which is now. Don't worry about the corporate one being like too intrusive. We'll get to that in a sec. So you're going to have a mining ledger that's a personal mining ledger, so you can look at the what?
You have it. It's past tense. We're in Lifeblood now.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, these show notes were from last week. We never got to this topic in time, so we're doing last week's show notes this week because we didn't get to the Lifeblood thing, which is jeez, my chair almost broke.
I didn't mean to be needlessly pedantic. I just
yeah.
figured
Well,
that's one of
you know
those
what?
things
Hey,
that you don't want to confuse people about.
Yeah, we got to make sure grammar is correct here. So, yeah. So you have a mining ledger now, and it's going to track local or not local. I mean, it's going to track all the stuff that you mine in what system you mined it, how much quantity you mined of it, and it does it like a per day thing, right? It's not like it just tracks. It's like this day you mined this much stuff in these systems. So I don't know if like there's a whole lot of use for the personal mining ledger, maybe to like track your ISK per hour, if you can do that with the value of the ore that you mine. I don't know if people. Maybe the heavy miners do that a lot to check their progress. I don't think I'd ever use it for personal.
Well, from an individual point of view, for somebody who's interested in metrics, having metrics being given to you by CCP is always useful. But on the other hand, the inclusion of this mining ledger also meant that it got added to the API. So a mining corporation could have like a mining contest and have everybody put in their personal APIs to the thing and then pull everybody's mining information and compare it against each other in like leaderboards. I think there's already now a Z-kill for rocks somewhere.
Okay, sorry, Marsha, we have to get to it.
Z-kill for rocks.
Yeah,
that
Z-kill
sounds super cheesy, but also like, I mean, why not? Like, it sounds
with these
fun.
metrics though. This will go in the API. Someone could actually do a site like that.
Yeah.
Which that almost is going to tie into what I'm going to get to when I get to the corp mining thing. Which is there any other stuff on the personal mining ledger that we want to get to before I move on to that? Because that's a good point. I never thought about that with the personal mining ledger. Okay, so the corporate mining ledger. Now this is only going to track the moon goo that you mine from a corporate refinery that blasts a moon apart. If I read this correctly. So it's gonna basically it's allowing the corporation to know if you're skimming shit off the top. If you're like doing like a corporate mining thing to get all the moon goo in before other people come and steal it, they'll be like, okay, you mined this much of these moon goo ores, and we better have that much of those in the hangar from you. But so now this is the other thing. Is like, so you're going to be able to track who's mining what of your moon stuff for your corp, which in the Imperium, and not just the Imperium, but other groups that use, equivalents of like the PAP link, like that's like the stuff we use in the Imperium is to track progress and participation. But it's always just been for combat, for fleets and stuff. So now, but there's always people that are in the coalitions that they don't do combat stuff. They do mining. That's like what they do. They do mining and production, and they build doctrine ships for people. They produce the moon stuff. They do all this other stuff. This is going to be a metric that is now going to be trackable by the API, and so I think that they're going to start adding moon mining PAP links. So now, which is especially important because now that you have to physically mine the moon goo, it's not just passive like you set it and forget it and come back in a week and pick up your product. It's like you need people to like physically go out and mine this. You're going to need incentive. And so now you're going to have these PAP links to show that there's these people that, okay, you don't have to go on combat fleets, but if you're mining all our moon goo for us, well, then that's your participation in the coalition. Now,
well, you wouldn't need PAP links because it's detectable and it's also, again, in the API. So, and it even shows in the API what the quote observer was, which in this case would be which facility created the belt that is being mined.
Well, right,
so
but
it actually wouldn't require any links; it would just be automatic.
Well, I know. Well, that's the thing. Like they've changed the PAP links, but the thing with the whole PAP link is like, I mean, they can go and like look to see have you been on fleets too. But instead of like having to go physically look at all these different people, the PAP link is just it's just a data feed where it just sends all this information of like who's been on the fleets, what are they flying, and how long were they there. And so it just and it runs it through this calculation thing that like it gives you like a participation score. And so people can just kind of, then the leaders can just kind of look at like, here's my members in my corp or alliance or coalition, like whatever like metric you want to look at on the level, and be like, where's the participation at, without having to go into like detail, like, okay, I need to go check this guy and check this guy and check, like you have to do background checks. It just does it all for them automatically. And so it's a nice way when you have like tens of thousands of people. It's just like, I don't want to go and manually look at all this stuff. I just want it fed to me. And so they can do this with mining too. So like they don't have to like go and look like, yeah, I can see you've gone and mined this stuff, but instead I'd like it just to be sent to me automatically.
Sure. To be clear, it's tied to the corporation, not to the individual. So you just pull all of the reports from that.
Well, right, but the corporation gets the feed of this guy mined this much, this guy mined this much here, this guy mined this much, and so that's going to feed in all, and that API data is going to show those individual pilots. And so the PAP, and the thing with PAP links now in the Imperium, you don't click them anymore. It's not a clickable link. It's all automatic. You go on a fleet, the FC now just makes a PAP, and it tracks all of the APIs of the people that are in the fleet, and so it will like give them a feed of like, this person's been in this person's fleet flying this ship, and they were in this system, they were in this system, they were in this system, and so they can see how long you were in fleet, what you were flying, and what fleet you were in, and without you having to click a single link anymore. And so they're going to be, I guarantee they're going to do the same thing with the mining, so that they can see like, this person was mining this much moon goo in this system and this system and this system, so this person put in this much participation. And then, so that the corp gets that information, but the corp is going to feed that to the alliance, and which is going to feed it to the coalition. So the coalition is going to get all this API data coming in.
What I wonder is if anybody's going to attempt to try to like automatically detect for incorrect usage, right? Like, so if I can detect how much somebody is mined, then I can make sure that you've reprocessed all of your stuff at my facility, or you've handed over enough, or, you know, whatever.
That was my other thing. It's like, so you have this API data, but you still have to look at it and check the number, the balances and the levels that are coming in. It's like, so that's what I'm wondering is like, are they going to have a program that can check for skimming automatically? Because if not, there's going to be rampant skimming, like people just taking a little off the top, or, you know, hey, this ore fell off the truck type of, you know, side dealings, where it's like people are gonna like take a little bit and put into their pockets. And the coalitions, alliances, corps, whatever, the corp level will probably be a little bit more easy to deal with, because if you're an individual corp, you're gonna be a little bit, you're not gonna have massive like amounts of unmeasurable numbers that you can like actually look at your individual pilots to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do.
So wait, can I ask a question about that? Because
Yeah.
I know, so I've done very little mining, very little reprocessing, but I know, like, even with the tutorial, when you mine something, you have to like right click reprocess, and you have to have a certain amount. So let's say you're doing a massive fleet mining of the one moon your corp has or whatever, and you guys all go and mine, and then like, instead of pooling it all together and having one person reprocess, the FC is just like, okay, everyone reprocess and trade it to me. But then what happens? So you reprocess, but you still technically have leftover ore because you don't have enough to reprocess it all, right? So let's say you need 100 to reprocess, but you have 50. So you trade over all your reprocessed stuff, but then you still have that 50 ore, and it's like, okay, well, is that considered, you know, like, that's kind of the thing that, like, you know, you guys are talking about all these, like, alliances being able to see people skimming, but at the same time, if every 2 weeks you're going out and mining and you're just like, okay, I'm going to keep this, because next time, if you do have 50 left over, then you combine the 250, have 100, then you should technically have none left over, right? Or, you know, is it going to be, do you think people are going to go to that kind of level where they're checking to like the very nth degree of somebody, you know, keeping a little bit of extra ore even though they can't reprocess it and get value? Like, what do you think?
What I think that
You
the
remember
bigger
a couple
groups will
months ago
do,
where there was a CO2 comms leak where GigX basically said
oh shit,
this is a tool that
hold on,
it was
LB,
one of those
LB,
things
Can
that
you repeat that?
yeah,
Yeah,
LB
repeat
TeamSpeak took a shit. I think start from the beginning, I guess.
GigX.
Okay, so
GigX,
a
yeah.
couple months before CO2 collapsed, there was a one of those leaks that came out where Basically, GigX laid down the law and said anybody taking unprocessed ore and selling it on the market outside of the alliance was going to get shit on. What
Okay.
kind of tools did he have to enforce that? Now the mining ledger is a tool that he could have had to enforce a policy like that, where if people are taking it out of the area, taking it to JITA, instead of selling it to their alliance mates who are trying to build capital ships, the mining ledger can track something like that.
The other thing to remember is
Yeah.
that these mining facilities are refineries, and one of the rigs that you can get is to make them better at refining. So optimally speaking, you should make it so that your refinery is designed to refine the minerals that are in the moon that it's drilling, or at least that you have a facility that's specifically designed to refine those things to get higher loot. So I was thinking that you would just you could put a tax on that refining process, but even then, you would still probably want everybody to hand over their ore to one person because refining is controlled by skills.
Right,
so you
right.
don't want
That's
just
what I was
everybody
gonna
to be refining willy-nilly.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go to. It's like when you have these big operations, you're not just to tell everyone to refine their ore, because unless those people have perfect refining skills, you're going to be like cutting into your profits at that point, because you're going to be having waste. And so
think
you
about
want
this
to
now
transfer.
too, right?
Well, I was saying you're going to want to transfer all to the person with the max refining skills, and they'll do it all so they get the max product.
Well, so think about it now, right? Like, so I'll use goons as an easy example because I fly around their space, I see what they're doing, right? So goons always have people like out Roracle mining, they'll out be mining. I assume like if you really need to belts, but it's mostly like ice belts, right? Everyone like if they want to mine, they get their ship, they go out and mine. And with POSes, it's more of I'll do my shot later, but with POSes, it's more of like one person can do it all. Technically, I'm assuming goons don't have one single person doing it all, but it's like a very small group, right? Whereas now with POSes and moon mining, you have to, instead of just having one person, handling the moon goo, now it's like you need a big operation. You can't expect one guy to have 20 of his Roracle alts doing it all on every single moon and processing it and bringing it back in. So is it going to be one of those things where it's like, okay, so instead of saying, hey guys, come in from ice mining, stop doing what you're doing and making your own money to build whatever you need, to do whatever you want, to make whatever profit, I want you to all come and help.
I would assume they'll get paid for it. That's the thing, is I assume that they'll get paid.
Oh, if they get paid for it, then it's okay.
Yeah, because
okay,
if they're
that
going to
makes
spend
sense.
their time mining stuff for the corporation, they better, like, I wouldn't do it unless I'm getting something out of it. I'm not going to, like, well, I mean, like, to a point, like, some people are just like, hey, it's group operation. If it's like a smaller corp that's not going to a big group, and they're like, we're using this moon goo to build, say, corp ships, to where, like, we're going to build ships out of this stuff. We're going to build Tech 2 ships out of this stuff, and we're going to hand them out to you guys so that we can go roaming in. It's like, okay, you don't have to pay me for that, because my payment is that you're going to give me free ships to fly in, and so I'm just helping build those ships. So that is something where it's like, okay, that is my payment. But if it's like, I'm just going to go mine for the corporation moon goo and give it over to the corp, and they're going to use it to, like, sell it or build stuff to sell or do whatever, it's like, I'm not doing that shit for free. And I don't think most people would. So it's like, I bet there will be some kind of reimbursement plan to where it's like, you mine this, like, for every X amount of whatever you mine, or time you spend mining moon goo, you get this much. But I would assume that they're going to have probably a centralized, like, everyone just drops it off into a corp hangar that is set for, like, the moon goo. And
Yeah.
they'll just check, like, okay, they'll probably have an API thing that can do it automatically. I bet someone can code something for that. That's like, this person mined this much. What did this person deposit into the corp hangar? If those amounts equal the same, then cool, this guy's good. If it's like, this guy deposited 3/4, like, this guy is doing a little skimming, and we need to go investigate him. But I don't know if people are gonna, like, get too involved in that. I don't know. That was my big question. Is like,
Yeah.
skimming's a thing. It's gonna be a thing. How much are people gonna, like, look into this and enforce it?
And I mean,
So-
that's what I'm curious about too, because I mean, it's super interesting, right? Like, you have one person who might take a shit ton of like ore from the corp or from mining moons, I guess. And then you have other people, it's like what I said, it's just like the leftover, and they don't see it as wrong, but the alliance might or the corp might. Let's go on, Ash.
Yeah, I was thinking, so we have a different situation because we're in LowSec. So, everything's super dangerous. But I've been trying to mull over how we're going to find value out of these things. And I think that, this instinct that you have to try to get everybody to give it back in might be the wrong direction. One of the things that I've been thinking about more is more of a ticket to ride idea, where you pay in to be able to go and mine at the field, but then you keep what you've mined during the operation, right? It's because that way the Alliance gets the value of the moon, and then the people can then go do whatever they want with the goo or the ore or the whatever, because it's not just goo that comes out of these things. Even the best moons still have a bunch of ore and crap in it.
Here's the question. Do we actually let Rain win anything?
Yes.
I don't know.
If it's these skins, I have these skins. Definitely.
Okay,
give it to someone
we'll
else.
re-roll. I was like, if it's your mom, we'll let her have it, but you can't.
No, so my mom won 10 billion ISK, and at some point, probably for Christmas, I'll give away the 10 billion. It won't be the ISK she got, but I'll give away my own 10 billion.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, we'll re-roll. Okay. Fuck, what the fuck is this rigged bullshit?
That's fucking
Super
awesome. Now I
rigged.
gotta win next.
Okay, nope. You're excluded. Anyone on the show is excluded, except for maybe Ashtarothi, because he's a guest. He can
I
win
have.
something. Okay, Marsha
There you
won.
go.
Okay, we'll give it to Marsha.
Oh, fuck that. Don't give her anything.
Marsha's been complaining the whole time. She's just like,
I'll
we
give
had
him-
sex
Gets
at
nothing.
Vegas. Why are we talking about lore? Where's my
We do
karaoke?
I
Although, you gotta give her credit though. The karaoke comment is valid. It's a very valid comment.
Karaoke's an after show.
I'll give her a code.
Fuck. Don't encourage her.
I'll give Marsha whatever she wants. She just has to ask. Your mind went there. I was talking about anything game.
I mean,
you
that's
know,
where Marsha's mind's probably gonna go too.
Yeah, well, that was the point. Hold on. I have to find my codes now. Don't let me stop you.
So for everyone who's curious, I have probed 64 moons, and it's actually pretty relaxing. Just talking and listening and pressing the button.
See, I channeled my old scout days and woke up at 4 a.m. and did 210 probes, and then moved on to Resource Wars.
Yeah,
although I did it
I've
with
been
the old,
juggling it with a couple
I did it
others.
with the old moon scanning stuff, but I scanned like 5 moons, and I'm like, you know what? I've done my part. I can be a citizen now. I am never wanting to scan moons ever again. Oh man.
What's next on the show notes?
Oh, are we past that? Well, it was Resource Wars actually, which I think we covered.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think we
pretty
kind of
much.
Did we finish Bloodline? Are we done?
Yeah.
Did we
we-
talk about how
did we beat the game?
rewards and Resource Wars aren't
High score?
split?
High score. What does that mean? Did it break?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the big thing about Resource Wars. We talked about it, the LP, and how crappy the reward is on the LP. But the big thing about Resource Wars is that it actually has pretty decent reward from the looks of things.
Oh
But
no, you're
more
roboting.
importantly-
Hold on. Let me check the. Is it me or is it?
No, I think it was him.
Radio check.
Oh man.
You
Yeah.
were kind of robotic.
Yeah, he roboted.
It's like, oh my god, my TeamSpeak server is a piece of crap. I don't know if they just like gave up on life and decided to like, you know, dismantle half their infrastructure, because they used to be really good, but now my TeamSpeak server has been giving people a lot of outbound packet loss, because yours is now up to 35% outbound packet loss, which I guarantee you is not on your end. That is on like the host end, because it's been doing that to
And there
everyone
he goes.
randomly.
All right, drag him back up.
Oh, okay, he's back. Sorry.
Yeah,
You sound better,
Ash,
although
I don't think it was on your side.
no, it's not on your side. It's on my TeamSpeak
Yeah.
host side. It's been given like, yeah, your outbound packet loss is slowly increasing, but it's not as high
Well,
as
also,
it was.
Since the reward isn't split, that means that a full team will actually maximize their ISK.
He's yeah, robot.
Well, yeah, like I
I
don't.
think
Like,
it's him though.
should we
Okay,
try
put me
the
on his
Discord route? Do we-
no, oh my! I'm
do
gonna
we-
shoot myself.
Don't do
Oh.
Discord.
Well, it's better
I-
than like this
It
is
is
Robot
We'll get lots
Central.
of viewers, but no.
I'm just saying because like it's like we can still hear what he's saying. It's just like choppy because
We can
that-
get a robot translator.
can we do that?
Beep,
Yeah.
Bop, beep beep bop bop.
Wait,
All right,
it's going.
Ash, say
It's going.
something.
This is Ashtarothi, radio check over.
Oh, it's going down.
Said-
Oh,
said
it's
his
fixing
name is
itself.
Ash.
Okay, all right. I think you're all right for now.
Okay.
Marsha's
Yeah,
calling for shots.
I was just saying that the rewards are not split. So the more people that you have in a site, the more ISK is being generated. So these level 5s that allow 6 battleships in might be upwards of like 50, 60 million ISK a site for the whole team.
That's kind of shitty. That's low.
Yeah, but if it was like a null sec anomaly where whoever warps in on you gets part of your bounty, it would be even worse, right?
Yeah, that sounds like it to me. I haven't done it, but yeah, that sounds kind of very low.
Well, it's 10 minutes. I don't know. It's hard for me to say because I'm literally just guessing. Because what we know is level 3 is, I think, 1.5 million. And I'm not sure what 4 or 5 is.
Wait, level 3 is of million of what?
1.5 million per person in the site when it's completed.
Oh.
That's worse than doing Project Discovery.
I actually really enjoy Project Discovery.
I don't know. I like it, but it's the most frustrating thing ever. I cannot figure it out.
If you want a marshal, you should probably be doing Project Discovery.
I read an interesting Reddit thread today. where
I
they
was
talk
a
about
little
using
sad.
a Project Discovery like project to hunt for botters.
Oh, really? That just go no transit, no transit, no transit.
So they would feed you. This was somebody's
Shots?
concept, not CCP's concept.
Shots.
They'd feed you a set of
I'm
data,
sick.
which would include like ratting ticks and all that shit, activity for a certain an unnamed player, and then you would determine whether or not it's a botter or not, and you would be rewarded if you're correct and not if you're not.
Wait, how? So how would it know if you're a botter or not?
So you would determine, like, you'd say, okay, yeah, this guy's making 26 million ISK ticks, and he's doing it for 23.5 hours a day. Nobody plays that long. That's a fucking botter.
What if it's like a family? It's like a boyfriend and
So
girlfriend,
this is the
husband,
thing.
wife, sisters, brothers.
Right? So you'd say it's a botter, and then it would compile it and say, like, okay, this goes in the botter pile. And then if it ends up in the botter pile enough, it'll get investigated by a GM from CCP who will
Right.
determine the end of it, right? That's
Right.
That's
In the same
concept.
way, in the same way that Project Discovery, not if enough people put transit somewhere, they don't automatically just declare a new planet found. That's just
Right.
step one.
An actual scientist has to look at it.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is Rain would get determined to be a botter because she's always flying around doing stuff, and then
Wow.
Someone
Okay.
would-
I'm
someone
just
would
really
end up-
good.
someone would end up looking at it and being like, no, that's not a botter, that's fucking Rain.
I think that's really difficult, though, to understand if there's a human being aspect to it. If there's, like, a human being falls into a pattern, right? Whereas a machine pattern has got to be completely different. But how do you ascertain the two, the delta between the two? And
So, I
how do you
mean-
interpret that?
So if you look at something like, if you say, we're learning about this at work, of something like robotics, automated processing, right? Like automation has always been there. The taking of something, making a decision based on attributes, and giving an output. Then you have like automation, which is, or like AI learning, which is kind of what EVE is, where it's like, I'm trying to think of bots, like faction warfare plexing. You sit in a plex, if something shows up on D-scan and you have the D-scan settings properly set up, it warps away, and then you give it some low stabs, some stabs, so that it can warp. So I mean, it would do this.
No,
It would do the same thing.
stabs is bullshit.
Oh,
For a
yeah, it's a
bot,
botter. It's
it's
a
not
plex
bullshit.
botter. Yeah.
Or a flex
But
bot?
so like if you think of it, so there are certain things where you want it to be able to be botted, right? Like I remember talking. So you mentioned Project Discovery. The first iteration of Project Discovery, I had mentioned to the developers, the people from Geneva, I think it was, the HPA Discovery or whatever they were called. I was like, well, what happens when someone figures out how to bot this? And they're like, actually, we want that. We want to be able to build AI to be able to read this because at the moment only humans can read it and we can't
So-
interpret it, right?
So they
Yeah.
made the Project Discovery. It's like, we actually want bots for this. And like,
Well,
email lines like,
well, think about
no!
it, right? Think about it. That's what citizen science is. It's taking something that cannot be automated by a robot, a machine, a program, and making humans do it, and mass amounts of humans, not just like some people doing it as their day job, because then that way they can compile all the result. Because human learning and human intelligence can recognize patterns that robots can't. It's
Right. It's
really,
pattern. It's
yeah.
the pattern recognition.
And so like there are some things, yeah, you want to be botted, but things that would say affect the game. So like if you think like I always think of faction warfare plex bots, like a Punisher named Punisher with nothing but stabs in its lows, and it warps out no matter what happens when you warp it, and there's no way for it to be caught type thing. Like that's not good for the game, and that's actually super detrimental for the game because then it, you know, fucks with the faction warfare system. It probably fucks with LP, this and that, right? So what you have to do is figure out. I mean, I don't know where I was going with this because we're talking about having humans catch botters, but I mean, if you could automate the catching of bots, right? So I'm thinking of other games where they would say, like ArcAge, when they wanted to catch botters, they would say, okay, if you're in point A and then you end up in point B, there should be no logical step for that. Therefore, we're gonna flag you as a bot, immediately ban you, and put you in for investigation. So it was like one of those things of like teleporting, right?
The other game that had botters was Ultimate UI, which was just rampant with botters. That was horrible. Well, because I had it too in Ultima.
The other thing about it though is that
But that was
Whoops.
CCP has a tendency to to ban in huge ways.
What have I done? What have I done? Sorry, hold on. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I fucked everything up. All right, go ahead.
I was just saying that, you know, even if CCP was moving to attack the bots now, we probably wouldn't see very many bots being attacked at the moment. They would collect data over a long period of time and then suddenly make an attack. They did that a few years ago. I can't remember what they called it, but it was before the Summer of Rage, but where they banned like just a ton of bots. Because the point is that botting versus these sort of security things are a race between the bot creators and the bot and you know the game people. And honestly, the botters have the advantage because it takes much longer to kind of work up your infrastructure. So they want to, you know, if they create good mechanisms to track where the botters are, they kind of want to let it sit for a little while so that way they can, you know, it's kind of becomes their own honeypot to get a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, but I mean,
here's the thing. If you could just detect, oh, there's a whole bunch of people in faction warfare that seem to be botting, and all of them seem to have a bunch of ammo in their cargo hold. And so we're just going to start botting or banning people based on kind of those metrics that we've discovered. Then it'll be much quicker to discover that that's what CCP is, quote, on
no,
to.
but hold on. Like, just having ammo in the cargo hold isn't a good metric to go on because.
But I mean, if that's the only pattern, right? If that's
well,
the
you're gonna
only
have more
pattern you can
variables,
recognize.
though, to understand
Well,
this.
but it's like, hold on. I've done a lot of ratting. Like when I used to go out ratting, like days on end, I would just pack my cargo hold with ammo and I'd just go out ratting for like 3 hours. Be like, I got missiles for days.
Right. We're talking about specifically plexing. Faction warfare plexes that has seen a rise in bots, and a lot of people have pointed to the fact that these guys that appear to be using bot-like behavior happen to have these really unusually large amounts of ammo, perhaps even the types.
I don't
in
know.
their cargo hold.
I don't know. I'm like a special snowflake when it comes to that. When I go on a roam, cause like, yeah, we're gonna go on like a small PvP roam. I'm not one of those people like, I'll just put like 1,000 of each ammo in my cargo hold just to, you know, because that's all I need. I'm putting like 5 to 10,000 ammo in my cargo hold because like I don't want to run out of ammo. So it's like I will literally max my cargo hold out with ammo in a cruiser with like auto cannons, and I'll have like 30 to 40,000 like rounds of ammo of various types. And when I die, it's really shitty because it's like, yeah, I just lost like 20 million of my losses, like the ammo in my cargo. But that's me.
I found it. It was called Unholy Rage. It happened back in 2009, and it was a major effort by CCP to basically rip apart the bot rings at the time. I think we need another one of those.
Yeah, but the whole Unholy Rage was a necessary knife that had to happen.
That's what I'm saying. I think we're due for another one.
I mean,
but
I
you
think-
Go ahead, Rain.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, like, banning bots, whether it be something like Ash said, where CCP takes a long time or almost instantly, like, I almost think that's, like, banning botters seems like a good. I've never can think of a situation where you want to have botters in a game or something like that, unless it's for something very specific, like Project Discovery, where they're looking for a way, like they want to actually find a way to bot something. Like that's the only thing I can think of where you want botting.
All right, the best cure for hiccups is
Shots?
yeah. This is a bit of a this is a prescription dose, which if you didn't know already, say you get here's a little trick to know. Maybe everyone already knows this, but I'm gonna pretend I'm a super smart scientist. Prescription medication. So like prescription Aleve, like it's like, oh, you need a prescription for it. You know what it is? Double the active ingredients of normal Aleve. So if you take double the dose of Aleve, that's prescription Aleve. Double the dose of Tylenol, that's prescription Tylenol. So we're gonna do
You should not. You should
Oh,
not go
so
above
you're
the
gonna
recommended
double-
thing on the box because
No.
you might hurt yourself.
Okay.
no,
Mom.
no. I'm just saying. Oh,
Fine.
but hold on. That's the
I'm
recommended
just
dose.
concerned, okay?
That's the recommended dose for over the counter. But I'm just saying, prescription dose of most over, like if you get there's over the counter medication, but when you get prescription
Drayden,
levels
last
of,
time I took prescription level of alcohol, I was in the judge's lap crying.
well, we're
apparently,
about to
beating
do
the
that.
shit out
We're
of
about to do
Blaston.
that, but there's
That's
no
right.
judge here. So what are you gonna do? Whose lap are you gonna lay in?
I'm a squirrel. I don't need to sit in anyone's lap.
Yeah.
It's just easier when someone's in a chair and you don't have to stand over them.
So
okay?
I want to inform people before you try to go and get a prescription of something that's over the counter. Just go get that over the counter and do double the dose. And that is
No, Drayden, like what the? You're gonna have people looking on WebMD and they're gonna be like, you know what? This dude in the lab coat named Dre told me I just have to take double Aleve. Like, what the fuck is
I'm a fucking doctor, all right. I'm a doctor for
know-
tonight.
Every time I go to WebMD, it tells me I have cancer. So fuck it, WebMD.
Yeah.
You need double the prescription recommendation of chemo. That's all you gotta do.
Every time I go to WebMD, it says I don't even actually ever go there.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah.
I got cancer.
No, man. Well, what you need to do, you know what cures cancer?
Can we do
A
shots?
prescription dose of Tito's.
Prescription dose of Tito's.
All right, so yeah, so we're gonna do a double bump, as Shooter calls it, a double bump prescribed by Dr. Dre. Whoo! Man, that hit the spot.
This guy says, Burlington says, Felicia, has to be the stupidest thing to say. And we don't really know what specifically he's talking to, but we can just say that whole conversation was really
No,
dumb.
pretty
Yeah,
much
it's
was.
probably dumb. Although I'm not
Welcome
kidding.
to Open Comms.
Because I got prescription Aleve and I looked at the active ingredient and it was literally active ingredient this many milligrams of whatever the thing is in Aleve, and I looked at like over the counter Aleve and it was half that. Like, and the doc, like, this is why I'm saying this, because the doctor himself that I got the because I had a bad ankle injury, the doctor himself told me that prescription Aleve is just double the dose of over the counter
Double.
Aleve. So he told me, he's
Right,
like, I'm
you
going to
get
give you this
400
prescription, but when you run out of this, don't refill it. Just go get over the counter Aleve and do double the dose. Like
Right,
an
so it's
actual,
like
like legit,
perfect.
like not me. This is not like a joke doctor. Like a legitimate doctor told me that. Now, I will give the disclaimer.
What's a joke doctor? Are you trying to describe a legitimate doctor versus a joke doctor?
I'm a
Drayden?
joke
Joke
doctor
doctor,
because
joke
I'm not a
doctor.
real doctor. I did not even finish college, so please. Now that's why I'm getting this. I'm going to give this disclaimer. Do not take my medical advice as truth, because I don't want to get sued or go to jail, and I don't think
Did you know-
INN
actually,
wants
so
to get sued or
medical
go
advice.
to jail either.
Did you know you cannot overdose on ibuprofen? So like, you can take like 500 pills of ibuprofen and it will fuck up your liver and it'll make you throw up, but it will not kill you.
Yeah, Keith's got it right. I'm a doctor at heart. I am. I have the best. I was gonna phrase that wrong. I have the people's best interest in mind. Yeah, I'm not a real doctor. Like.
Oh wait,
this-
Marsha's a nurse. She says apparently you can. So don't listen to me. I'm not a PhD. Not a.
Yeah,
MD.
but she's a British nurse. That's different.
Yeah, apparently British nurses say having a heart rate over 80 is or normal, which doesn't make any sense because clearly you need to fucking go to a doctor and like lower your resting heart rate.
Yeah. Well, and also, yeah. Okay, so, Rodin also has like overdosing on Motrin. Wait, Motrin. Isn't that the like?
Motrin is ibuprofen.
Oh no, I was missing. What's that like period medication for like cramps and headaches?
Amoxicillin.
It's Midol.
No, that's like prescription. No, I mean like the
Midol.
Midol. That's what I was mixing up with. I was like, wait, you're doing double doses of mochi.
My doll's for the lady cramps.
I was thinking Midol. I was like, wait, hold on.
So did you know lady cramps aren't just like muscle cramps, it's the body prepping itself for childbirth, which is why they hurt so bad. I don't know if you ever knew that. But
Well,
just FYI,
I've
Super
never,
gross.
I've never had them.
you can't have them because you don't have a fucking uterus.
Not yet. How dare you? Like, what if I decide to change?
Are you gonna get a uterus transplant?
What
Jaden?
if
Is that
what
you're
if I
gonna
decide
do?
I
A
want one?
uterus transplant?
What if I decide I
Alright,
want
Cat,
one?
that's
You tell me I
transplant,
can't
Cat.
have what you can't. You tell me I can't have my dreams?
No, it is not. Like,
Are you
period
sure?
cramps
It's
are
pretty
like
painful.
different. Like I've had like a whatchamacallit, like back pains, neck pains, Charlie horses. They're different
I've
kind
had
of
those.
pain than to like period cramps. Like maybe not as bad because I don't really get period cramps that bad. But I also don't really
Oh,
get
no.
my period either because like
Fucking Iran. He's like they're bind on pickup. Fucking. I think he's talking about uteruses.
I thought we were talking about periods because apparently that's what everyone wants to talk about.
Well, no, we were talking about uterus transplants. He's like they're bind on pickup training. You can't have one.
That'd be super. Did you hear about there's fuck. What is it?
I'm
There's
sorry,
a head-
Ash.
there's
I,
a
I,
head.
I like this is the open comm show. I'm sorry if you came into this like at the end, but
Ash, I really hope you're drinking. But no, did you hear that they're doing a head transplant at some point?
for
I
real.
don't know. Yeah, like I don't remember like the context of it, but it was like first head transplant gonna take place, blah blah blah, and like it's like literally like severing the head and putting it on a new body type thing.
I would
Whatever,
love to see if
Fishbone.
that can work.
I don't hate anything. I love you, Fishbone.
Oh man, Fishbone's here. What's up,
Fishbone's
Fishbone?
a good man.
I fucking love Fishbone. We had a real
Fishbone's the
connect in
man.
Vegas over
Oh, shit.
some breakfast at the Hash House. I had a big old like country fried steak, and what did you have, Fishbone? You didn't have the chicken and waffles. He had something else.
I was really mad that I didn't get steak while in Vegas. Like I'm super upset about that fact. I also didn't get. Fuck, I wanted to go to an oyster bar, but they were always like $4 an oyster, which is like not a
Oh,
good
you
deal.
eat oysters, man.
I love. So when I was in New York hanging out with Dark Wild, I was just fucking like, Wild, we're going to an
Oh,
oyster
yeah, he had the
bar.
chicken
Just
fried steak,
fucking
too.
oysters. He was a good man.
Dude, there's an oyster. I actually used to work at an oyster bar, but it was like an oyster bar. It was a restaurant that served oysters, and it was a bar.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
But, like, if it comes in a shell, I don't want it.
What if it's a clam, Drayden?
No, clams are actually even worse. Have you opened up a can of clams?
about
I used to work. Hold on.
I
I used
tried to make a fucking sexual joke, and you're like, I fucking hate clams, Rain. Give me that sausage.
Man, I fell for it. No, I went literal. I went literal on this. I used to work at Olive Garden, and the stuffed mushrooms that have clam meat in them at Olive Garden. When I was the prep cook and I had to make those things, when you open up the can of clams, it literally made the entire like kitchen of the restaurant smell like a giant fart. It was like everyone knew when you were making stuffed mushrooms because it smelled like someone farted into the ventilation unit for the whole restaurant. Yeah, the truth is right there, actually. Clams are disgusting. Mussels are disgusting. Oysters are disgusting.
Yeah, I can't stand oysters.
I have an exception. Like
What?
scallops, if they're cooked and seasoned just right, are okay. Like fried scallops with some seasoning are okay. But I will not eat clams. I won't eat mussels. I won't eat oysters. I won't
But
eat.
So actually,
my ex, my ex
Yep.
used to love escargot, which is snails. Oh
That's
my
delicious
god.
shit.
Oh, but you had to put it.
The-
Pull it
the
out,
butter
put
and
it
the
on a piece of
cheese.
bread and
Yeah,
cheese.
the crusty bread. So good.
But still, it was so fucking slimy. I couldn't stand it. sometimes.
Half shell oyster so sexy though. What's the half shell?
so half shells where it's like you break open the shell and the oyster's still in the shell. You can do it like a shooter, or you can like dip it, like pick it out with a fork and dip
Nope.
it.
Nope.
Am I saying it wrong?
No,
Did I know
you're
it wrong?
fine. It's just.
Oh, you don't like it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So,
do.
when I do
Clams,
when I do
oysters and cockles. clams, oysters, and cockles.
Game of Thrones.
So when I eat oysters, I like the shooter thing. I don't like the shell on my mouth, but like I'll just like grab a fork and just fucking dig it out. I love seafood.
Yeah, you just gotta dig
I'm
it
from the
out
Midwest.
sometimes.
You just gotta dig.
Sometimes you
good.
just gotta dig
Can we
it out.
confirm
I
Rain
mean,
doesn't like hard things.
oh my god, where have we gone?
I don't like the shell because it's kind of weird, you guys. Fuck you.
Oh man, where have we gone? Like we just went from like like we did like an hour and a half of Serious Eve talk, and then we went to whatever the hell we just got to do. Like we actually silenced Ashtarothi. Like he is speechless right now.
Is he still here?
I really like seafood. That's my contribution to this conversation.
That's as far as he'll go. Like
I was born in Hawaii, so
really?
yeah,
Whoa!
I'm
Really?
really hungry. Yeah,
I did not know that. Wait, and you're living where
Do
now?
you like oysters?
I like any kind of seafood, basically.
Right. Yeah.
But no, I was born in Hilo, Hawaii. We moved to Oregon when I was like 6 or 7.
Oh right, you're in Oregon.
Okay, yeah.
Man,
You're,
me and,
you're,
like-
you're Pacific time zone, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I've been to Oregon a couple times. Like, me and Pearl were trying to organize like a little Oregon meetup thing, and we were trying to like.
Oh. It's happening. I found out that Grey Gal lives in the Pacific Northwest, so
Really?
I made a little this Eve Cascadia group about a year ago, and then finally got her involved in it. But it was right before Vegas,
Well,
so I've given her a little bit of time to cool off, and then I'm gonna start.
let me
working
know
on
because
getting
I,
more
Greg
organized.
is
live.
a good person.
I live in
Grey
North
Gal,
Idaho,
yeah.
so I mean, like, Portland's like a 6-hour drive for me, so it's not that far. So
Yeah,
I
there's,
will
there's
go.
plenty of people that are in the area, so it's
Yeah,
kind of
because I know it's like I know I didn't know Grey Gal was up here, but I know
Yeah.
you, me, Pearl, and Rise lives in Oregon as well.
Dude, did you guys hear? Bro might bring his eldest daughter, to Vegas next year.
Uh-oh.
That
I'm
would be
so
awesome.
excited.
Well, that's dangerous. Like that, there's a reason why Dirk has been like, my daughter will never come to Vegas.
Cause she's not 21, Drayden, and she better go to Vegas because it's gonna be super fun partying with her.
Well, it would be. I think Dirk's afraid of like her getting like, although she's gonna be married probably by then because
Diablo Django lives 40 minutes south of Portland.
who?
He's in chat. Diablo Achango.
Oh, okay, 40 minutes. So you
Nice.
live in
Oh,
like
Esau lives in the Pacific Northwest.
wait, 40
too.
minutes
Yeah.
south of
Yeah.
Portland. 40 minutes south of Portland. Is that like Woodburn? Do you live in Woodburn? I'm making a guess here.
Wait. So while we're talking about this, if you guys want to do Eve meets, go to evemeet.net, and
Yes.
that's where generally, if you're gonna make an Eve meet, if you just want to hang out with some friends, if you're going to like a bar meetup with Eve players, evemeet.net, or if you're looking for any of them, go to
Right.
evemeet.net.
EveMeet.net. The current ones up there is we got Amsterdam.
Eve Amsterdam.
Oh,
Eve
Sam.
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam is next week, and then there is a meetup in DC 28th.
There's Eve London, I think, is coming out in November too.
The Houston meetup is tomorrow, so if anybody in Houston, go to Houston meetup tomorrow. Holy shit, there's a whole bunch more. Hang on, I'm checking it right now.
Okay, so-
yeah, NT London. We got Charlotte on the 18th of November. Sydney is on the 25th, and then all the way posted already February 1st is Eve Breck. I know
Breck?
Kakar is going to Eve Breck. Yes, Breckenridge.
Where's Breckenridge?
That's in
Breckenridge,
Colorado.
Colorado.
It's like a
So-
snowboarding.
Oh, I should
kind of
know
event.
that. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Snowboarding, skiing type.
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Like, I know Aspen, but Breckenridge is probably close to that, right?
So, all right, now I just see.
I used to,
all the
like,
way
my
up to May
grandparents lived in
31st.
Colorado forever. I should know that. They lived in Fruta, Grand Junction, and Greeley,
Greeley,
Colorado.
yes,
Yeah,
Greeley.
Greeley. Yeah.
So now the last one I see posted all the way out to May 31st next year is called the first annual Eve Retreat. It says tucked away in the
It's in
heart of
St.
Missouri.
Louis, or not near
The,
St. Louis.
the
Yeah.
Wilderness Lodge Resort is being taken over by Capsulators. The venue has several gorgeous cabins with all amenities, full kitchens, living areas. So this is called the first annual Eve Retreat. So check it out, evemeet.net.
Did you do a shot, Drayden?
Sure did. You got to make a face before you do it. That's what I did. No face. Nope.
I did make a face. Mute. Is Mute Kun going to the London one? Oh my god, that'd be so exciting.
I would love to go overseas. Man, it's too expensive. Maybe I should ask my boss for like $100,000 a year raise, and then I can go wherever I want.
It's actually not that. So
Done.
if you have like $2,000, you can go overseas for like at least a week.
No, no,
Like that should play for flight, hotel, etc.
no. For me, overseas, like I checked the flight price for FanFest last year, or no, well, technically this year. Just the round trip flight to Reykjavik and back was $1,600.
So for me, it's 500. You need to.
How
so
the hell
have-
do you get 500?
Yeah.
So wait, Drayden, go fly, like drive yourself to Seattle or Portland and take Iceland Air or WoW Air. I don't think WoW
That's
Air
what I
flies
did.
in there.
Iceland
Do
Air
Iceland
Air
was
flies out of
that's
Los Angeles.
was. I guarantee the flight to Spokane and Seattle is like a small portion of that. So if I was to drive to Seattle and back, and just go straight from Seattle to Reykjavik, it would still be like probably $1,000, maybe $1,200, because the Spokane to Seattle
Damn.
round trip flight is like, if I went to Spokane right now and I want to get a round trip flight from Spokane to Seattle and back, it'd be like $150 maybe. So
Well, that's not bad. So like I fly from
So
Chicago
it's
and I
just
can do WoW Air
super
or Iceland Air and it's
expensive.
500 to 600.
okay, Chicago is probably a bigger airport, so they have more flights. That's probably because Seattle doesn't have as many flights going direct to Reykjavik.
Seattle has
No,
Iceland
they-
Air.
they-
They
It
should
does have
Iceland
Iceland Air, but
flights.
I bet the flights are not that common, and so they cost a lot.
No,
more.
no. It's almost like once a day or once every couple days. Like
Yeah,
Iceland Air is
Seattle's every
really,
day.
really good. It's really, really good.
Well, no,
Iceland Air is a
I'm
really
just
good
saying, like,
airline.
I looked at the price. That was the price I got was, and I guarantee the majority of that price was not the Spokane to Seattle portion, because Spokane to Seattle is one of the most common flights out of Spokane.
No, you have to think about it. So Spokane to Seattle will not be Iceland Air. So what
I know,
drives the
it'll
price
probably
is
be like- it'll
no,
be
that's
Delta-
that's
it'll-
the point.
It'll be Delta or Alaska Air, but what I'm saying is, like, the flights from Spokane to Seattle are so common. That's probably like one of the most common flights out of Spokane.
Drayden.
That
It doesn't matter.
the
You
cost
have to
of
book the
that
flight
is so
separate. No,
cheap.
you have to book it separate because
Yeah, or
otherwise,
go
what
to
you're
flight-
paying
it's
for
called
is
Flight Hub.
Delta and Iceland Air, and that combines them, and one of them has to pay for it, and so that's what fucks it up. You have to pay
really?
separately. Yeah, you have to do it separately, and it sucks, but that's how you have to do it. Like the airline industry is very easy to game if you know what you're doing.
I bet if you
Oh.
drove to Seattle, it would probably be $800 round trip. If you drove to Seattle and flew Iceland Air from Seattle to Reykjavik.
Drive like my car gets rid of gas. I can drive to Seattle on a full tank. So, 2 tanks of gas, I can get to Seattle and back, and that's like $50 for me. 50,
Drive
50
to
to 60. So
Seattle,
it's like
get-
$60
Drive it.
bucks round trip.
I drive to Chicago and I fly out $500 round trip. There and
That's
back
pretty much-
includes
yeah.
all the luggage, etc.
Right
Like
there,
it's so worth.
Matt is saying Iceland Air for Seattle to Reykjavik is $529 in April 2018. That's probably
That's
about right.
way
Right now-
cheaper.
right
Okay,
now,
so I checked it before and it was way more than that. So maybe it was the Delta transfer thing. Who knows?
yeah, it could be the Delta. And if Delta would fly to JFK.
I don't know if it's
JFK to
Delta or
Reykjavik.
North or Alaska. Alaska is probably more common to go to.
So Alaska will
Delta's
go to
more
Iceland.
camp-
Delta's like Delta's like one of those higher level
Well-
ones where you're paying for the service, whereas like Iceland
Well-
Air, WoW Air, anything like
Well,
Allegiant,
Del-
Southwest, those
Del-
are bargain airlines.
Delta's really
Alaska
cheap
has a partner
through their
with,
hubs.
ICE.
Well, I would say
Okay, okay.
Delta's really cheap through their hubs, but Delta has no hubs in the Northwest. Their hubs are Salt Lake City and Minneapolis, and then somewhere in the east. So if,
Michigan.
Well,
Michigan.
If you are going to go and you're thinking about it, in the Goon forums there is a Goon pad thread that we may all get together for us who are going to Reykjavik next year. So we buy get an Airbnb for the week.
yeah, I don't think I'll be able to
that'd
make
save
it
you
next
some
year
money, too.
because I've got a cousin that's getting married, so I'm flying out to California in January for their wedding. So I won't be able to make FanFest this. Ooh,
It would
hiccups.
be the 15th for Eve, 15th year anniversary for Eve. So it might
Yeah,
be
you
the
want
one
it-
you want to go to.
You want to go to this one. This one's gonna be so
I won't
good.
have the money. I won't have it.
Brandon, just suck
I
a
really
couple
wanna
dicks
go
for
too.
money.
Well,
I've been actually thinking about
you
streaming.
know what?
and trying
Maybe
to
I'll
raise
just
up
start an
money for
online
it.
dick sucking
Yeah,
company. Like,
streamers like
Yeah.
viewers usually will support that. Like, I mean, as far as I know, a lot
Well,
of streamers who've asked. No, like
I
if you're
feel
doing it
bad telling
because you
people like,
wanna go-
hey, instead of you going to FanFest, send me to FanFest instead on your dollar. Like, I don't.
No, I mean,
want
so,
that.
some people make enough money to where they just want to give other people money, or they, they don't have the means to go to FanFest, and they say, "Hey, you're a good content creator. I like what you do. I want to see you there talking to CCP," and like that's what people do.
Yeah, don't think of it like somebody's just buying you a ticket. Think of it like, okay, I'm going to do some 24-hour streams, or I'm going to do whatever it is. I'm going to up my content for a little while and tell people that if they enjoy it, that they can help me get to FanFest.
Yeah, and then
Is
people
that
want
what
to
they
donate,
really
they
want?
can.
Do they really want Drayden and FanFest?
Well,
Well,
then they don't.
so-
If they don't want to, then they don't have to.
I know Scared Panda and Chris Wow got to FanFest, I think in 2016, because people liked what they did so much that they wanted to send them to FanFest. Defiant Daniel went to Vegas in 2016 because people liked what he did so much. It's not like people are like, hey, just give me money, like I'm not gonna tell you what I'm doing with it. People are saying, hey, I'm raising funds, and as long as you're honest about it and you're not trying to say, hey, the flights are only $500 but I'm asking for $1,000. You're not like lying or fudging the numbers. Like people are totally willing to do that.
Okay, so yeah, we'll do we gotta do a roll for another skin. Noisy Gamer fucking won it. Hell yeah. Alright, did you get that blast?
That's fine. So I'll get it to him. Yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to click on like when I said the winner, you should be able to click on Noisy Gamer and just whisper him right there from there. Yeah, okay, so if it's 500, okay, so someone checked that the price is 500, like that's a lot cheaper. And also I was talking with Paulus Payne, the guy from Norway. Like,
Paul, I love Paul.
Dude,
also,
that-
I
Noisy
do
Game-
too. Oh my god.
Noisy Gamer says Iceland Air is charging $63. Also check WoW Air. WoW Air flies out of Chicago, and I've been watching what they've been doing.
Okay.
yeah, but for me to fly to
quick story
Chicago,
about
it'd probably
WoW.
add a bunch more. But like, if it's
I
500
flew
bucks,
WoW, I flew WoW last year from Los Angeles, straight direct.
shots.
The plane was great. You have no room in the seats, and I bought the upgraded
Oh, no.
seats, and I still was just like, it was miserable.
If you got
Like,
no
there was
room, then I will have negative room.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm 6'1".
I will have to straddle the
pounds.
seat and the aisle. And
So fly Iceland Air then, Drayden. Iceland Air is really
I'm
good.
going to Iceland Air.
Well, hold on. Maybe I can like. You never know. You never know. You have to ask people because, what if if I get the window seat and the person in the middle seat and the aisle seat are okay with me straddling the middle seat person and having my legs wrap around the aisle seat person, and we can just have like a cornucopia flight into Iceland.
I think you're using that word wrong.
No, it's totally right because it's an offensive word and this is an offensive situation.
Cornucopia?
Yeah, if you didn't like, we actually talked
It's
about
not
this a while.
Thanksgiving yet, Drayden. You
No,
can't
no,
say
no. We talked about this. There
It's
was a
Canadian
list.
Thanksgiving.
There was a list of the 10 most offensive words the 10 words that women find the most offensive, and you could imagine what the top 5 were. Like,
Okay,
I
top
can
5 was
say a
like
C word.
moist. Cornucopia is not one of them, Drayden.
no, cornucopia was number 6.
Drayden, if I'm here and I'm the only woman here, so I speak for all women when I say.
But
women do not
you
find
are
cornucopia
not.
offensive.
You are not the normal offensive type.
I am always offensive, Drayden. I was beating the shit
No,
out of people at
you-
Vegas.
no, no.
obviously.
Hold on, this isn't
No,
about,
hold on.
this isn't
You
about
are
women being
offensive. You don't
this is about
take
women being
offense.
offended.
You don't. Yeah, you don't take offense to
I get
dumb
offended
shit.
at everything. Did you just assume my gender?
No, I
Triggered.
did. Yes, you are a
Triggered.
squirrelette.
Say that one more time.
What? You
Say
are.
that.
Wow.
Say that one more
What?
time, Drayden.
You are a squirrelette.
No.
Say, oh my,
Oh, God,
those
there we
fighting words. How do I fight them through the internet?
All right. We have to play Broforce, which is totally a gender assumption
Brofart,
game.
are you saying that
It's a
blasphemy
gender
is doing
assumption
this now?
game.
What? You just assumed my gender? What the fuck, Drayden?
Wait, well, you got antennas on
You're
your
like the
head. I
worst
mean, like,
doctor.
Where's Jay
Yeah.
McClain? Jay McClain's gotta be here. Wait. Speaking of Jay McClain, do we want to talk about what's gonna be on the agenda for next week?
What's on the agenda? For
Oh,
next
okay.
What is
Yes,
on the agenda
yes.
next?
So, yeah. Okay, we only got 9 minutes left. Holy shit! How do we fill the time? I'm amazed. Show us your
We
Warface.
talked about seafood for like
You
45
invited me
minutes.
on.
Fucking.
Yeah,
All
we
right,
got
so, okay, so next week, this week might have been it, but we're gonna do it next week, because we wanted Dirk to be here for this. Next week is gonna be roughly the 6-year anniversary of the show itself. So we're gonna have a celebration there, big time celebration, but as well, not to be like a buzzkill, but it's just gonna be like a respectful thing, it's going to be roughly the 1-year anniversary of Big Country's passing. And so we're going to have a little reflection thing as well on that. So we're going to do a celebration of the show and a remembrance of Big Country on top of whatever the hell else we want to do shots to. So that's going to be next week.
For this
Viper's
week,
calling for shots.
Oh,
So while everyone's
Freelancer
pouring
just showed
their
up. Oh,
shots-
I'll do a shot for Freelancer. Yeah, I
just
haven't
as an
seen him talk all night.
FYI,
And Viper.
just like as an FYI,
Vipper.
Stranger
It's
Things
Vipper.
2. Can you guys stop? Stranger Things 2, the season, I guess all of Netflix, all 10 episodes.
No spoilers. I
have
haven't
come
watched it
out.
yet.
No, we're not doing spoilers because
No.
it just came out yesterday. But I highly recommend you all see it. I'm pretty sure at some point, maybe I don't want to say next week, but maybe in a couple weeks we might do this whole like spoiler thing. It's kind of different since like there's 10 episodes. We can't all spoil it at once. You guys can do your shots.
You cut out, Rain. She actually can't even hear me that she cut out. Let's just actually like nod our heads that we like understand her and we accept whatever she's saying.
Yeah, I lost all audio just now.
So I said watch Stranger Things. We're not going to spoil it next week, but just in case, if you're routinely using social media, definitely use it. Definitely watch
Yes.
it.
Yes,
Yeah.
watch Stranger Things. Awesome show.
Yes, I know Vipper. I told them how to say your name correctly, Vipper.
Vipper, it's okay.
It's
like
Vipper,
here,
like-
have some emotes.
Yes, Vipper. Give Vipper some Bible thumps. He needs them. And some squirrely emotes. I don't have those emotes. Rain, why don't I have these emotes?
Dude, I put those on stickers to give it out Vegas, and like
I never
really
got a
just wanna,
squirrel sticker.
Yo, I'll mail you some. Give me your address. I'll mail you some squirrel stickers
How
and
do
like
I-
a sticker with my face.
How do I know you're not gonna like come physically stalk me and like
Because like that takes too much effort, Drayden. Like, why would I do that?
because it's
No one
Idaho?
wants to go to
It's
school
Idaho and you're
anyways.
jealous.
Okay, I don't care about your potatoes, Drayden. I have corn over here.
We
Corn
have
makes Tito's
you know what
vodka.
we have here that you don't?
What?
Trees and mountains.
We have trees.
Crippling
Okay,
meth
we
addiction.
don't.
And lakes.
We don't have mountains, and Iowa.
You
is
don't
the
have
number one
mountains, you
meth
don't have
capital of the
trees.
world.
You have like corn. Your trees
We have
grow
trees, fuck
Your
you.
trees grow corn.
That's not how trees work, Drayden.
Your
What the
tree You have your
Oh my God.
Your tree orchards are corn farms.
Wow.
Tree orchard corn farm.
You have corn trees. That's what you got.
How do you
Corn
murder
trees that go
someone?
about
I'm
6 feet
googling
tall.
how to murder someone through the internet.
Wait, yes, Dan, Rain is a squirrel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you want to,
See
Lieutenant
that
Dan?
tail again.
Do you want to see my tail? Okay. Booty wiggle.
Yeah, give us
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
wiggle, 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 wiggle.
It's funny because it's not like twerking, but it's like a cute little tail wiggle type thing.
That was not much of a booty wiggle, Rain. That was kind of like just
No,
Yo,
that was
twerking
not
is safe
much.
for Vegas. You're not allowed to tell
a,
anyone
that
about
that was a truffle, not a wiggle.
Oh, to tell anyone about Vegas.
Ugh. Well, I didn't see the wiggle in Vegas. I wasn't at the strip club.
Did you see
I
me
had the
make?
death
Did you see
grip.
me make it rain?
I did not go to the strip club. I heard there was a bunch of
No, it wasn't.
No,
motorboat.
that was at the strip club. That was at the go-go
Oh,
dance.
I was gonna say I heard there was a bunch of motorboating and all kinds of stuff.
Okay, that was
Was it
not to be
motorboating?
leaked. I was definitely motorboating, but that was not to be leaked.
No.
Oh. Epic leaks.
Epic.
What happens at the Vegas strip club stays at the Vegas strip club. So we have 4 minutes left. Is there anything?
Oh, this is my song. I actually made this. It's not loud enough. Turn it up.
With so much drama in the LBC, it's kinda hard being Snoop D on Double G, but I somehow, some way keep coming up with funky ass shit like every single day. May I kick a little something for the G's and make a few ends as I breeze through 2 in the morning and the party still jumping cause my mama ain't home. I got bitches in the living room getting it on and they ain't leave till 6.
Oh man, I had to bring the glasses out. You can't deny it. Here's the best thing.
So turn off the lights and close the door. But
Here's the best thing. I'm going as Dr. Dre, hip hop, at the Halloween party we're going to tomorrow night. He's going as Snoop Dogg. So we're going as Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, although I'm in a doctor outfit. And so we're gonna walk in, and I'm gonna like, he's got this like Bluetooth boombox thing. I'm gonna walk in playing the Still Dre song.
Do we want any shoutouts before we go?
Wow.
Ash Sharathi, do you have any shoutouts?
Did I wear this at the strip club? Because like my glasses smell like perfume.
Yeah, my shout out is. Sorry.
I've been
What's
there
your shout-out?
recently.
My shout out is to Pockets DK, also known as Keltoran Rowe in Adoran Robotics. This dude is our propaganda manager, so he actually is the creator of the FedEx show, but he's also managing our new HiSec Corporation for Resource Wars, which is going to be like a Fed Up academy.
Cool.
Anyone else have shoutouts?
Shout outs to the Galente Militia for taking back Tama.
Yeah.
What's the oh, that's not the right cap.
2 minutes left.
Green, do you have shoutouts?
Yeah, I'm gonna give a shout outs to WebMD. It's a site that I decided to manufacture myself just because, you know, not everyone can go to the doctor when they need to, and if they need a doctor's opinion, you might as well go online to get it. And so all the opinions on WebMD are mine.
WebMD is a wonderful place to find out how your symptoms are going to kill you.
If you want to
I'm so
self-diagnose,
tilted, like...
if you want to self-diagnose your own death, come to my site.
So I'm gonna shout out the Amamake police and the people who fly around Amamake. I believe they killed an Anthanor. However you say it, they killed something today. They had a lot of fun doing it. Lost the Iskwar, but achieved the objective.
All right, so I'm going to do
Gross.
mine. All right. Everybody knows I live in Vegas,
Yep.
and I'm not going to get too deep into the shit because it's tough what we experienced, 26 days ago. I want to shout out to the whole EVE community for what they did during EVE Vegas for us. CCP, first of all, did the matching up to $5,000 for the Victims Fund. That hit by 7 o'clock Friday night, right? And this was totally amazing what the EVE community did for my home city. We experienced the worst fucking thing ever as far as a mass shooting was concerned. And I am so in awe of what CCP did, what EVE has done to be a part of this. So that's my shout out. Thank you everybody for being a part of EVE and the EVE community.
Yeah.
Love you, blast them.
Thank you everybody. Love you guys.
All right. With that, we got to close it out. You know what? Let's pour one for the road. We're right at 8 o'clock, so we got like seconds. We don't have seconds to spare. We got no time to spare.
Games Poner or Julia will be up next. She's gonna be, I believe,
Julie,
playing a game.
Julie, not Julia.
Julie. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Julie.
So
Jesus,
Julie will be
Rain.
up next. Fuck, I fucked up. So Julie will be up next. She's gonna be playing games. I believe she's giving stuff away as well as playing with viewers. So definitely stick around if you want to hang out with her.
She uses the Jackbox, which is holy shit. If you haven't played
No,
that,
she's doing something different today. She's doing
Different
something different.
oh, okay. Well, okay. Stay tuned because like she's really fun to watch. I
mean, I watch her all the time.
I
anyway,
follow her
so-
on Twitch. I actually watch her stream on her own stuff. So anyway, so shots for the
All right,
road,
roll
and
out.
we're gonna give it up to Julie. Later, bitches, and we're out.
Later, bitches. I'm
Later,
out.
bitches.
Later, bitches.
All right, hold on. How do I close this?